usually don't, do I? But that's because I have a guest with me today. And this guest is a member of our Trinity family. Her name is Cindy Groce. You may have remembered seeing her, although with the mask on, she might look a little different. But I have her here as my special guest because she's written a children's book that was published. And you know, this is our story and sing-along, and I'm always reading a book to you and talking about the author, and the illustrator. And here we've got the author and the illustrator right here in our church. Isn't that cool? So welcome, Cindy.
Thank you, Beth.
Yeah, tell us a little bit, how long have you been at Trinity?
Well, I grew up at Trinity.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I did.
Wow, as a child.
As a child, I was in the junior choir, and I was a brownie. A little brownie troop met here, and Sunday school and everything, so yes.
Oh my gosh. Boys and girls, can you imagine that? So she's grown up right here in this place. So you've seen a lot of changes.
I've seen a lot of change, and much the same too. You know, just really so much is the same.
Oh, well, I found out that you had written a book, and so I ordered it right away because I wanted to read it.
Thank you.
And then as I started turning the pages, boys and girls, it is so fascinating because, and I'm gonna let Cindy talk about that, but when she takes walks out in nature, she sees things and has taken pictures of them that are just spectacular. And so I wanted Cindy to do the reading today instead of me, because why not have the real thing, the real author here and the real illustrator?
I'm so happy to do that.
And you did all the pictures as well?
I did.
Can you show them the cover?
This is the cover, Hiding in Plain Sight, Friends in the Forest.
So all these drawings she did, and then you're going to see lots of photographs and stuff inside. But Cindy, tell the boys and girls a little bit about what prompted you to write this book.
Well, I grew up in Asheville, obviously, and I grew up playing outside. And my home was at the edge of the woods, and I would just go out and play all the time. And of course, we didn't have the screens that young people have now, and so that was probably a good thing because I was outside all the time. And I early gained an appreciation for nature and for trees and just, you know, the surroundings of my neighborhood. And so early on, I don't know exactly when, but I started thinking, well, I'd like to come up with something beautiful that would bring joy to many. And I didn't know what that would be. And then, so as it says in the book, the pictures that were taken in here of trees were taken while I was hiking or biking around in the last few years. And you'll see all of these are real trees and real faces and characters in the trees.
And I love at the end, you have exactly where those trees were photographed. So at the end, boys and girls, if you get this book, and I encourage you to buy this book, get mom and dad to look online for it, but it tells all the locations of where these trees were, where she photographed
That's
them.
true.
Yeah.
All over the country, really. I mean, in a number of states around the country.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
well, I would love for you to read this out loud to us. And all I can say is it inspired me. So the last time I went on a walk, I had my camera, my phone, and was taking I was looking for those kinds of pictures. And I found two that really struck me, and I took a picture of them. I'll have to show them to you.
Good.
But I think this is going to inspire you, boys and girls, to go out and see what you can see in this wondrous world of ours.
it's true.
So I'm going to scoot out of the picture so that Cindy, Mrs. Groce, can be right there and read that story to you. She can take that mask off and you can hear the story. So take it away, Cindy.
All right. Thank you, Miss Beth. So, Hiding in Plain Sight is about, you will see. I think I'll read you the introduction first so that you'll have an idea what it is about. Nature has an amazing sense of humor. If you have eyes to see and a keen imagination, a walk outside can reveal a whole world of new friends. And I bet you wonder who in the world those new friends are. As you will see in the pages that follow in this book, some faces in the trees are comical. Many look like animals or people, and some are scary. Most faces are hiding in plain sight. but all are characters who bring the forest alive and turn a simple walk in the woods into a magical adventure. I invite you and you to embark on such an adventure wherever you go in all the world, whether alone or with a companion, a parent, a friend, anyone. Consider finding a path in the great outdoors and see how many characters you might find and might discover among the trees. This can be as much fun for a kindergartner as it is for a grandparent and all kids in between. Let the adventure begin. I'm going to show you that page. There's a little doggy that goes along. You see, walking in the woods, I decided I needed to have a little girl to go through the woods. So you'll see her on every page. On this page, on this first page, she says, I love the woods, the falling leaves, the mossy rocks and gentle breeze. I love that sometimes around a bend among the trees, I find a friend. And here you'll see her throwing the leaves up in the air and just getting ready to take her adventure into the woods. So on these pages, on each of these pages is a picture that I found with my cell phone. I took the picture with my cell phone of the tree, and they have not been changed in any way. They're just simply creations of nature. And this one, as you'll see, goes along with the picture. Sneaky, snarky, evil eye, I see you smirk at passersby. Do you have a trunk of tricks, or are you simply made of sticks? And on this page, you'll see the little girl responding to the tree, and then the little dog, who is her companion, kind of responding to the tree as well. The next page, Llama, llama, don't you cry. You'll feel better by and by. Here's a hanky, dry your eyes. Tomorrow will bring better skies. You look as if you need to sneeze. A limb is on your nose. Your mouth is hanging open wide. Your eyes are almost closed. The birds and squirrels are fleeing. They've heard this sound before. But when you sneeze, it's awfully loud. It shakes the forest floor. And then you see what happens a little bit. He must have sneezed because she falls back and all the squirrels and birds fly away into their holes. It's just kind of funny. The next page is, I'd gladly hike this rocky trail. I'd walk for many a mile. I'd take the time to make the climb just to see you smile. And guess what? This tree, as you will see, has a smiling face to it. He's just actually smiling. It's hard to believe. The next page, your nose is black, your mouth a mess, your head is like a tree. Yet, standing there beneath the sky, you're as pretty as can be. And that's an aspen tree. Pretty as can be. You'll see, you'll see. The next page, a path through the woods on a midday trek leads by a tree with a crooked neck. Perhaps she was bent to mark the way for travelers in an earlier day. She actually has a bent neck, which you'll see. And there's a reason for that bent neck that goes way back in history. So that's a good opportunity to learn. And actually in the back of the book are some other little pages that you might want to call Did You Know? And that's about the tree with the crooked neck and about other trees that you'll find in the book. You look a lot like a silly mask or a monkey face, but it's not my task to decide who you are or what you might be. I'm glad you're here for the next traveler to see. Your mouth seems to be a hospitable feature, shaped like a heart. It's a home for small creatures. You seem so relaxed in the warmth of the day, leaned back and inviting the chipmunks to play. It's hard to believe that all of these trees that you're seeing as we go through the book really were there looking just like this. Three faces in one, you're an interesting tree. If I stop and look closely, three faces I see. You stand in the woods where many pass by, and I'm hoping that someone will stop and say hi. An octopus grinned, but you're standing on land, not in the great wide sea. If I turn you around till you're upside down, then a real octopus you would be. You'll see how that works too. And the next one, dancing there within the woods, you seem to have grown together. By standing strong and holding on, you've endured life's stormy weather. And the little dog is looking at that and thinking about things. Think about what the dog must be thinking too when he sees that. Deep in the forest, his mossy head was almost lost until he said, "Who's that walking in my woods?" I stopped and shuddered as I stood, and then I sat upon a stump and felt my heart go thumpity thump. walk in the woods, so relaxing and free until I encountered a personal tree. A face with a mouth, a nose, and an eye actually winked as I passed by. Popping right out of an old pine tree is a little brown bear, as plain as can be. It seems that he wants to climb down and play, but inside the tree trunk, little brown bear must stay. That's definitely a little black brown bear. She looked a lot like Halloween. Oh my goodness, here we are almost at Halloween. This should be a good one. She looked a lot like Halloween. Her face was swollen, stuffed, and green. Her eyes uneven, nose askew. I was not surprised when she said, "Boo." Creeping through the forest floor with eye wide open, you explore. I bet your tummy longs for beetles as you make your home among the needles. This is just a log that was lying there in the bottom of the forest floor, and I knew that logs like, that beetles like to live in logs, and so I thought maybe that log was hungry for beetles. See what you think? So the next one, you may see a deer with an antler feature or a golden eye of some other creature. Oh my, what fun. In the whole creation, all you need is to see with imagination. You know what imagination is, right? So if you use your eyes and your imagination, you can see all sorts of things out there. Deep in the woods, one sunny morn, I spot a beast with a bull-like horn. Oh my, I see his mouth and eye. I hear him snort, and I must try to run away. And then I see the scary bull is just a tree. I see before me a man in a tree. He's hunkered down, looking old as can be. I think he was formed by the cold March wind. Through many a storm, his roots dug in. The rain that fell must have washed his face as he stood there watching the human race. Look up, there is so much to see, the rolling white clouds and the green leafy trees. As you gaze toward the heavens, the world passes by. You're a burl on a live oak beneath the great sky. Also in the back, you'll find out what burls are. So look up, did you know, in the back of the book. A knobby nose, two shiny eyes, a twisted smile, there's no disguise. To see him brings me such delight. He's hiding, but he's in plain sight. And then we come to a part of the book that says, did you know? And it tells you about the tree burl, and the tree trail trees, and the scarring of trees. And you need to see the picture with the explanation of the aspen tree and why it makes a wonderful noise. And the live oak, you've probably seen some live oaks down toward the coast in South Carolina or Georgia or wherever you might go to the beach. And there are many benefits of trees. Did you know that there are many benefits? And here are just a few. Trees combat climate change. Trees clean the air. Trees cool city streets. They provide habitat for wildlife. They shield from ultraviolet rays. They conserve energy. They provide oxygen. Trees feed the human soul. I think that's my favorite one because they certainly feed my soul. There are many other ways that trees bring goodness to our lives. See how many ways you can think of that trees benefit all living creatures. And I bet you can think of a lot. Next, we have an index of trees, which will tell you what type of tree each of the ones of the trees on each page is and where it's located. So, and I like this quote. I'm just going to read this quote to you from John Muir. And if you might know who John Muir is, or you might want to look him up. He's an important person, I think, in our world, or was. Climb the mountains and get their good tidings, get their glad tidings. Nature's peace will flow into you as sunshine flows into trees. So I think that's a good quote. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed the book. Maybe it'll be one of your childhood favorites.
Oh, that was great, because I have always had a thing about trees. I really have. Well, I always loved looking at dusk when it was just, and it was wintertime, it was just the bare black branches up against sort of the sun starting to set. It was very stark and beautiful. And then of course, trees blowing in the breeze. Mm-hmm.
This was interesting to me, not from what I have written, but just the networking of the overstory and the understory.
I read the book.
Yes,
the overstory. Yes.
The overstory. And it is just fascinating to me how they communicate.
The trees really talk to each other.
They do communicate. They protect each other. And there are so many ways to find out. There's so much information that, if you are interested in trees, and I bet you all are, boys and girls. I bet, your parents too.
I know some of them are good climbers. I've seen some of them.
I'm a good climber.
Climbers.
Yes, I am.
I used to be.
But I am still.
You are still?
Oh, yes, I am.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I gotta get back in shape.
Yeah.
Girls. I gotta get back in shape. Well, this inspired me to go out. I love to walk anyway, or take a jog, or ride my bike. But now I started looking at the trees completely in a different way. So I encourage you, boys and girls, to do that too. And also, hopefully soon, when we can all be back together again, and you get a chance to see Mrs. Cindy Groce in person, you can talk to her a little bit about
that would be so fun.
What you liked in the book and what was your favorite part, and all those good things.
In the meantime, I'd love to know if you tell Miss Beth what your favorite part was, and she'll tell me.
Do that. So why don't you put comments here on our Facebook page, maybe say what your favorite one was. And also, I know a lot of my older kids know how to do this. Start taking some pictures and post them and tell us, hey, this is what I saw when I looked at this.
And honestly, a cell phone does just as good a job.
Because that's what you did yours with,
everyone is taken with a cell phone.
Yeah. So that would be great, boys and girls, to add your pictures in. I know Mrs. Groce would love to see those too.
I would love it.
And just get some feedback on what you really liked in the book, or which picture you thought was the most interesting, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that'd be great. That would be fun.
Cindy, it's been so wonderful to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
And yes, I'm so thrilled. And it's great to have an author in our midst.
Well, it's just a joy, and I'm blessed to be able to go out and see these. And I'm working on a second book, so that's fun too.
Oh, is it going to be about trees too?
Well, yeah, so the forest and the woods, yeah, and nature. So yeah, so it is a true blessing for me. I mean, I love God's creation so much, and to be out in it, and to, just soak up this, like this says, the sunshine and the beauty all around us.
It's very healing. It makes us feel good.
I'm glad you're seeing everything with new eyes.
I am.
That's wonderful.
I am.
Good.
Well, boys and girls, we're going to say bye. And thanks for joining me and Cindy Groce today for this wonderful new book, Hidden in Plain Sight. Bye.
Bye-bye.